This is Dr. Lawrence Wallace, the developer of the Larell One Step Denture. Today we're going to demonstrate the technique for creating a complete denture in a single 1-hour office visit. We start with the initial kit, which comprises of 10 templates, one set of upper and lower of each of the 5 sizes. These templates are thermoplastic acrylic with the teeth preset in place. They come in 2 shades, shade B1 and shade B65. The kit also comes with a box of hard reline material, soft reline material, occlusal plane plate, boiling pot to heat the templates, tinting ink, and a DVD of the procedure and tutorial. The first step in the process is to choose the proper template. There are 5 sizes of templates available. This was created through measuring over 1,000 edentulous models. The teeth are Meyerson-Kenson teeth, good quality of acrylic tooth. They are monoplane, and the templates, as I said, are thermoplastic acrylic. An alginate impression is taken of the patient and poured up in quickset stone. We will then use this reference model to determine the proper size template to be used for the patient. The first step in the process is to establish vertical dimension. This is done through the standard technique of measurement of a dot on the nose and a dot on the chin. If the patient has no teeth, the patient will stand, swallow once or twice, and then a measurement is taken. If the patient has old dentures or teeth, the reference point will be created from that patient with the dentures in the mouth or with the teeth in the mouth. Once this measurement is created, it will be set aside for later use. The important step here is choosing the proper template. As I said, we have a stone model that we have created. The first step in adapting the template properly will be to mark the midline on the model, and we'll show that in just a second. The template is then adapted to the model in the boiling water. The midline is marked, the tuberosities are marked. We would then choose the proper template, and the proper template is that template which both has the teeth over the ridge, as you can see here, and that fits the closest when placed on the model. It does not need to be an exact fit, it just needs to be close. And we can see that in this situation, this size 4 template is the proper template. The same is done with the lower. It's tried on the model, it's tried upside down to see that the teeth are over the ridge, and this can be adapted later on if necessary, and the template is then able to be adapted for use in the mouth. The first step would be to try the template on the model. We need to relieve any areas where there are frenums, muscle attachments, extensions in the tuberosity, extensions in the retromolar pad areas for the lower, and any extended flanges which might occur from the initial model. We like to see 2 to 3 millimeters of space between the height of the flange and the height of the vestibular fold. The template can be marked with a magic marker or other marking pen so that we see that we are going to have the proper extensions. The template is then trimmed with a standard acrylic burr. At room temperature, the template reacts and handles just like standard denture acrylic. We want to relieve all the muscle areas. We want 2 to 3 millimeters of space between the height of the flange and the height of the fold. This will also allow us to seat the template closely on the model so that we know we're going to have a close fit. Again, it doesn't have to be exact. We're trying for as close as we can in order to have the closest adaptation and least amount of reline material. The retromolar pad areas are trimmed, all the muscle areas are trimmed, frenum is trimmed, so that we can take this to the mouth, try it in, and see that we have the proper spacing. The template is then put into boiling water for approximately 40 seconds. You can see here that after 40 seconds it becomes malleable. There is no memory to the thermoplastic acrylic, so it can be placed in the boiling water multiple times and fit so that it adapts to the model. The first step, of course, is to set the midline. It's important that the midline be set and then the palate is set. This will properly position the template for the adaptation later for the tuberosities and any other area where it needs to be adapted. It can go back into the boiling water multiple times. As seen here, the lower template is also placed into the boiling water. 40 seconds becomes malleable. It is placed on the model and then fit closely so that the amount of reline material will be a minimum. There's approximately 30 seconds of working time before the acrylic becomes rigid. With no memory, you can put it in the boiling water multiple times. The next step in the process is to reline the upper denture. It's tried in the mouth to be certain that it's in the right position. It's tried in with the occlusal plane plate so that we have developed the allotragal line Frankfurt horizontal as well. The lip support and tooth show are visual. We use a sealer to place into the template to help the bond strength between the reline material and the template. It is extended on the entire inner surface and up to the flanges. The reline material is mixed to a consistency somewhat similar to peanut butter. We don't want it runny at all. After about a minute of mixing time, the template is filled with the material and then it is taken to the mouth. Now this has been tried in the mouth already, so we know that we have a pretty good fit of the template and position-wise. The template with the material is placed in the mouth, the midline is checked first, and the posterior is pushed up and then tested with the occlusal plane plate. This will allow us to develop the proper allotragal line, the proper Frankfurt horizontal, and allow you to check the lip support and tooth show, which are both done visually. There's about 3.5 minutes of working time so that there is sufficient time to make sure that the template is set in the proper position. It is then border molded in a standard fashion so that we know we won't have too long extensions in the muscle areas. This is the template after it comes out of the mouth with the reline. You can see that there's a good roll at the flanges and that the template is completely filled. There is excess on the outside of the template, and this is trimmed off with an acrylic burr. And this reline material trims very easily. The upper is then replaced into the mouth after the rough finish. We're now going to leave it there while we do the lower. We have our vertical dimension marks. We have the upper template in the proper position. We have developed the occlusion. We have developed the aesthetics, and it had been border molded completely. So now we can place the lower. A similar process is used for the lower template. It is relined with a mixture of the powder and liquid. It would be at the point of monomer. You would put the tinting ink in if you wanted to darken the gingival color before you place the powder into the mix. We have the upper template in place, and we're going to reline the lower. The lower does three things when you place it. You have the patient bite down to achieve the preset vertical, which you can measure. You have the patient bite down into occlusion so that you have the proper bite, and you then border mold the lower. There is sufficient time for this with the working time of the template and the reline material. The reline is filled in the template, placed in the mouth, and the patient bites down to the preset vertical, which you will measure, You will check the bite to be certain that it is proper, and then border mold the lower in a similar fashion as the upper was border molded. We're at 44 minutes into the procedure, almost 45 minutes into the procedure, and we're moving right along to the point where we're almost done. This is the lower template. You can see that there's nice folds there from the reline. The post dam is then added to the upper. It is painted on. It needs to be about 1 millimeter high and 1 millimeter wide. The material is allowed to harden, and it can be put into water to help harden the material before it's placed in the mouth to prevent displacement of the post-dam material. It only needs to be, as I said, about 1 millimeter high and 1 millimeter wide. And the post-dam is then placed in the mouth with the template and checked for retention. Pressure indicating paste is used on both the upper and the lower to determine if there's any high spots or sore spots on the flange or in the inner surface of the templates. The pressure indicating paste needs to be used a minimum of 3 times and checked each time with the patient biting down and in excursive movements. Here you can see that in the tuberosities in the center of the palate, post-dam, there are areas that need to be adjusted. Those areas are trimmed, a little more pressure indicating paste is placed, and it's checked again. Articulating paper is used to check the occlusion. The dentures are polished and finished in the standard fashion as any dentures would be, and replaced to the mouth, and the final check is done. The entire process typically takes less than an hour. The patient here is checking for the look, for the feel, and the comfort. There is a very low rate of adjustment needed, and the procedure is complete. So we have here a process to create the full denture in under an hour. To review the procedure, alginate impressions are taken, quickset stone models are poured, the templates are adapted to the model, trying it upside down to see that the teeth are over the ridge, and trying it directly on the model to see that we have the closest fitting template. They're trimmed at the flanges for the frenum, for any other excessive length, and then tried in the mouth to make sure that we have 2 to 3 millimeters of flange space after adapting them. They are then relined in a standard chairside reline fashion. Vertical is measured. They are adjusted with pressure indicating paste and articulating paper, finished, and then delivered to the patient. Feel free to contact us for more information on any step of the process. This is Dr. Lawrence Wallace for the Larell One Step Denture.